All right, welcome to the Radical Independent. My name is Dave, and thanks for being here, for you free radicals out there, for tuning in. This will be the podcast version of the show. I'm going to hopefully try to do this more often. So I wanted to talk about Tulsi Gabbard today. I haven't spoken about Tulsi in a while, and people in the comments, I can see the love they have for Tulsi Gabbard. Bad news, though, for Tulsi Gabbard. The firing of Tucker Carlson has really decreased Tulsi's reach. I mean, she was certainly getting a very large audience when she appeared with Tucker. I know she goes on with Hannity and Ingraham, but the old school conservatives, they don't really like Tulsi Gabbard that much. I mean, they like her a little bit, but they don't like her foreign policy. You know, in recent days, I mean, I've been listening to some of the coverage regarding foreign policy, and Kevin McCarthy the other day getting up there and basically lecturing a Russian reporter about what his country is doing without any oversight or accountability when it comes to what we're doing with regard to Ukraine. It's crazy. It is, the foreign policy establishment is so unified. It's incredible. And Tulsi Gabbard is one of those voices who breaks through that stuff. I mean, I want to hear from Tulsi. I want her to weigh in on these things, because not only is she good on all of these economic issues, and she understands the American people and how they've been given the shaft, or however you want to word that, for many, many years. She understands all of that stuff. And her simple answer is, hey, can maybe we not send, billions of dollars to Ukraine, and maybe we can help the people, down in Southwest Florida still recovering from a hurricane. Maybe we can help tornado victims in various parts of the country. We've always got natural disasters. And not only do we have natural disasters, but we've got man-made disasters. And no, I'm not talking about climate change. I'm talking about infrastructure. Infrastructure, where you could have bipartisan support. Do you support infrastructure? Yes, we do. Tulsi Gabbard is also correct on things like women's sports, which is just crazy to even think about that that's an issue now. But when it comes to the culture war, Tulsi Gabbard is spot on. So she's a unique combination of different things. And I think people should recognize that if she did run for president, she could run as an independent. And I think there is an outside chance she could win, but you'd have to mobilize a campaign like we've never seen to get her on the ballot in all 50 states, unless she wants to run as a libertarian. And the libertarians aren't going to like that. She's good on foreign issues, foreign policy, but she would run into a roadblock when it comes to certain economic principles that, you have to take a purity test over there. And if you don't pass the purity test, then you really can't be part of the club, which it seems to be something that's prevalent no matter what political party you choose. But Tucker Carlson being dismissed by Fox News has really hurt Tulsi Gabbard. And I don't know if she did have plans to run in 2024, but she would have had a better chance if she had a platform like Tucker. She could come on that show and just basically talk about the things that are most important to the American people and show that she's not part of this establishment uniparty. When she goes on with Sean Hannity, it's kind of like, oh no, she's really just decided to, I don't know, go wherever someone will take her. And I understand maybe she can convert some people over there, but a lot of times when she's on with Hannity, they have an issue like the border, which is kind of an obvious issue that most people are in favor of curtailing or even temporarily eliminating illegal crossings over the border. And we're going to have some huge problems coming up. And even the Biden, their time administration, is doing something. They're trying to look like they're doing something with this 1,500 troop mobilization along the border, but I've heard that they're going to be doing paperwork and processing illegals mostly. Tulsi Gabbard definitely had a come to Jesus moment on that, just like she did with the Second Amendment. She could run as a Republican. I don't think anyone is going to beat Donald Trump, unfortunately. And I do say that, unfortunately, because we really need more candidates. We don't need everyone just to get out of the way so it's Trump against Biden again. We need Robert F. Kennedy Jr. running as a Democrat. He's doing pretty well in the polls. People are finding out that he's not super pro-vaccine. These people haven't paid attention to him. In fact, he's just the opposite. But yet, I don't think that's hurting him. I think it might actually help him with some groups of people, both on the left and the right. Again, a unifying issue. An issue, by the way, that Tulsi Gabbard hasn't defined in the same way that RFK Jr. has thus far. I mean, if she was to run for president, I think she would have to clarify on a number of issues, and I think people would still get on board with her candidacy, even if she was a little, unwashed in a few areas where she really needs to kind of do some studying and bone up on some issues that many Americans are concerned about. From what I gathered, though, from what I see when Tulsi Gabbard does an interview, I mean, she knows what she's talking about. She's typically, near the tip of the spear on pretty much every issue that confronts the American people today. So again, will she run for president? I don't know. Obviously, you've got a growing Republican field, and you've got the commentators saying it's either Trump or DeSantis, and you got to get out of the way for Trump. And even DeSantis now taking a lot of BS from the Trump people. I don't think that is appropriate. I think you risk a civil war in the Republican Party, which would make a Tulsi Gabbard run even more plausible. She ran for president as an independent. She basically doesn't, a workaround away from these people who are going to be battling it out in the primaries, and you're going to see the super PAC war again. You're not going to see the war that focuses on the citizens, meaning the citizens aren't going to come forward and be the ones that determine the outcome of a primary election. It's going to be the donor class and the lobbyists that are going to do most of that. So Tulsi Gabbard would bypass all of that, and I think her best bet would be to run as an independent, but these states, they're not going to like it. The Republican Party especially is not going to, neither party is going to want Tulsi Gabbard to run for president. Neither party. And they'll do whatever they can to keep her off different state ballots. So anyway, that's my first podcast, and hopefully it comes out good. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And I will be back fairly soon with more. And thanks again.